Good morning, my dear students. Let us discuss about corporate legal framework. Corporate legal framework is very important subject in MBA. Contents of corporate legal framework is introduction, sources of Indian law and Indian Contract Act 1872 and classification of contracts, essential of a valid contract. We want to know the history of corporate legal framework. Our corporate legal framework is having the three different names which are business law, commercial law and mercantile law. Our corporate legal framework subject is having the three different names. Those are business law, commercial law and corporate legal framework. Coming to the introduction of the corporate legal framework is business comprises all profit seeking activities and enterprises that provide goods and service necessary to an economic system. Here, every business will have the different type of profit seeking activities and every enterprises that will provide a goods and services necessary to an economic system. And here, law refers to principles and regulations which are established by a government, applicable to the people and enforced by a judicial decision. Here, we are framing the one of the law. That law is containing different types of principles and regulations. These principles and regulations are established by the government and these are applicable to the people or society, and these principles and regulations are enforced by the judicial decisions. And coming to the next point, law is a system of rules. Means here law is containing different rules and regulations that are created and enforced through a social or governmental institutions to regulate behavior. Here law is a containing different rules and regulations. Here everything in the law is created and enforced through a social or governmental institutions to regulate the behavior. And business law is the one of the part of legal system which guarantees an orderly conduct of business affairs and the settlement of legitimate dispute in a just manner. Here business law is one of the important law of a legal system which is a guaranteed orderly conduct of business affairs and different activities of a business and settlement of legitimate disputes in a just manner. And it establishes a set of rules and prescribes conduct to order to avoid misunderstandings and injury in our business relationship. Here business law is having the set of the rules and regulations and prescribe the conduct to order to avoid misunderstandings and injury in our business relationships. Sources of Indian law. Here our Indian law is having the different sources. Those are principal source, secondary source, English law and mercantile law. Coming to the principal source, it deals about customer law and judicial law and decision, statutes and personal law. And coming to the secondary source, justice, equity, good and conscience. Coming to the English law, it deals about the common law and law merchant, equity and statute law. Coming to the mercantile law, it deals about the law, merchant, statute law and common law and equity. Indian Contract Act 1872. Here our Indian Contract Act is framed in 1872. So we are calling Indian Contract Act 1872. Here the law relating to the contract is containing in the Indian Contract Act 1872. Here the law relating to the contracts is contained in the Indian Contract Act 1872. The Act deals with general principles of law of contract section 1 to 75. Here Indian Contract Act is dealing with set of general principles of law from the section 1 to 75, and some special contracts is dealing with section 124 to 238. Here the act deals with the general principles of a law of contract is section 1 to 75 deals about the Indian Contract Act, and some special contracts will deal section 124 to 238, and we are containing here Indian contract is containing 6 different chapters of act deal with different stages of formation of a contract. Here Indian contract is having the 6 different chapters. It deals about the formation of a contract, which is essential elements and performance of contract, breach of contract, remedies for breach of contract, and the remaining chapter deals with some of the special contracts, and remaining acts are deals about the some special contracts. Coming to the nature of the law of the contract, the law of the contract differs from the branch of the law in an important respect. Here the nature of the law of the contract is different from other branches of the law, which is important respect to. It does not lay down any rules and regulations. Here the nature of the law of the contract is it will respect the rules and regulations of law, and which law will enforces it consists rather of a number of limiting principles. Here the law is containing number of limiting principles subject to which the parties may create rights and duties for themselves, which law will be upheld, and the parties to a contract in a sense make the law for themselves so long as they have to do not infringe some legal prohibition. They can make what rules they like in respect of subject matter. Here the parties in a contract is sense make the law for themselves, so they have to do not infringe some legal prohibitions. They can make the rules and like in respect of subject of their agreement, and in the law will give the effect to their decisions. And coming to the next point, a contract is an agreement made between two or more parties which the law will enforce. Section 2H. Here for every contract there should be a minimum 2 parties, but that is party A and party B. A contract is an agreement made between two or more parties which the law will enforce. The section 2H defines a contract as an agreement enforced at the law is contract. Classification of contracts. Here the contracts are classified into 3 different categories: validity contracts and formation contracts and performance contracts. Coming to the validity contracts, valid contracts, void contract, voidable contract, void agreement. Coming to the formation contracts, express contract, implied contract, quasi contract. Coming to the performance of the contracts, executed contract, executory contract, unilateral contract, bilateral contract. Classification on basis of validity. A contract is based on agreement. An agreement becomes a contract if all the elements are satisfied. In such case, it becomes a valid contract. Here, a contract is based on a agreement. A agreement means every agreement will have 2 different parties, party A and party B. There will be some agreement. The agreement should be supported by the law. Then the agreement will convert into the contract. When the all essential elements of an agreement is satisfied, then agreement is converted into the contract. In such case, it becomes a valid contract. If one or more of the elements are not present, the contract is voidable or void, illegal or unenforceable. Coming to the voidable contract. Coming to voidable contract. A contract is a voidable when the consent of parties of the contract is not free. Here for every contract there will be 2 parties. party A and party B. Coming to the voidable contract, a contract is voidable when the consent of parties to the contract is not free. Voidable contract is defined an agreement. Voidable contract is defined an agreement that is enforceable by the law at the option of one or more of the parties. There are two and not the option of other or other. When the consent of parties not free, it is obtained by the coercion, undue influence, fraud or misrepresentation. The contract is voidable at option of the parties who consenting is so obtained. Here what voidable contract is saying that there is a contract between party A and party B, but there is a presence of coercion, undue influence, fraud and misrepresentation. So this contract is called as a voidable contract. Coming to the example of voidable contract is L agrees to sell a car to M for 5,000 rupees only. Here L agrees to sell his car to M for 5,000 rupees only. His consent is obtained by use of force. We are for somebody is forcing the L to sell the car for 5,000 rupees. Here force is applicable to the one of the party of the contract. So here there is a main point is force applying the force towards the one of the party of the contract, which means L choose he may stand by the contract or avoid the consent. Coming to the next one, void contract. A contract which is entered into may be valid initially. It may be subsequently become void, may be occurrence of some event. Here there is a contract between two different parties. Party A is accepting, party B is accepting. There is a legality support is there, but there is a some small disturbances is a contract which was valid initially. Here the contract is valid initially, but has become a void due to occurrence of some event is called a void contract. For example, there is a contract between two parties, party A and party B. Party A is belongs to the India, party B is belongs to the Pakistan. Party A is belongs to the India and party B is belongs to the Pakistan. They are doing one of the business. The business also legality support is there. The business is having the legal support. Party A is having willingness to do that contract. Party B is also having the willingness to do that contract. The law is also enforceable to the that business, but suddenly a small disturbances occurs, that is the war between the India and Pakistan. Here void contract is legally applicable, but when the war occurrences or any disturbances between the two countries, then that contract is called as void contract. It is initially applicable but not applicable secondarily. Why? Because of the war is occurring between of and the relations of two countries are not good. Coming to the unenforceable contracts. An unenforceable contract is one which can be enforced in the court law due to some technical defects such as stamping issues, registration issues has not been done where it is necessary. Such contracts may be executed or carried out by concerned parties, but in case of breach, aggrieved or affected party cannot approach to the court of law for remedy in addition to the above. There are two major categories called the void agreements and illegal agreements. Here there is a contract between party A and party B. Party A is the willingness to do contract. Party B is also having the willingness to do contract. The business also between party A and party B is having the legality support. but the contract is unenforceable because the stamping issue and registration issue is not done in a proper manner. Here the stamping issue and registration issue is not done in a proper manner. Due to that reason, the contract is called as unenforceable contract. It is a invalid contract. Coming to the void agreement. An agreement that is not enforceable by the law is a void agreement. Such agreements do not create any legal rights or from starting to ending from the beginning. Coming to the example, an agreement with a minor is a void agreement. Here, void agreement means there is no legality support from starting onwards. An agreement is done between two parties. When the party A is willing, party B is also willing to do the contract, but one of the party is belongs to the minor, means he is not at all a major, so the law won't accept to do a contract with a minor person. So the law is not supporting from starting of this contract, so it is called as a void agreement. Coming to the illegal agreement. An illegal agreement is one which against some rule of the basic public policy. Here we are doing then illegal agreement and goes against from some rule of a basic public policy which is a criminal or immoral nature. An illegal agreement, here there is a agreement between two different parties, party A and party B. Party A is also having willingness to do this agreement. Party B also having the willingness to do this agreement. But the law is not supporting to this agreement because there is a one of the mistake is there. That is, it is a illegal business. What is the main point? Illegal business is occurred. There is a criminal or immoral activities which are present in this contract. So this is called as illegal agreement. For example, A rents B house to store some smuggled goods. A rents to B's house for storage of some smuggled goods. B is aware of A's purpose. The agreement between A and B is collateral to the agreement of buying smuggled goods. Here smuggling the goods is a criminal and immoral activities. Here there is no legality support to the such smuggling business. That's why this contract is called as illegal agreement. Classification on basis of formation. Express contract. If the terms of the contract are expressly agreed upon at the time of formation of the contracts, the contract is said to be an express contract. Here there is a two different parties. There is a one of the agreement between two parties. Party A is acceptable, party B is acceptable. The agreement is enforceable by the law. So the agreement is converted into the contract. Here it is a expressing the one of the party of the contract expressing his expressing by the expression, that is called express contract. If the term of the contract are expressly agreed upon at the time of formation of the contract is said to be an express contract. Coming to the implied contract means an implied contract is one which implies from the behavior of the parties, not by the words or spoken or written. Here implied contract means a contract between the two different parties. Party A is willing, party B is also willing. There is a legality support. Here he is saying by his behavior he is accepting the contract, he is not accepting the contract. Here behavior of a partner is important. That is called implied contract. Coming to the quasi contract. A quasi contract is not a contract between two parties, but a legal obligation is imposed by the court of law which puts both parties in the same position. Here a quasi contract is not a contract between two parties, but there is a legal obligation. There is a legal obligation by the court of law which puts the both parties in the same position. Yes, there is a contract between them. This is based on grounds of equity. This is based on grounds of equity, that a person shall not be allowed to enrich himself and justify the expenses of another. Means, for example, here T is there. T is one of the party. A tradesman leaves his goods at M's house. Here T, a tradesman leaves his goods at M's house by mistake, and M uses T's goods, then M is bound to pay for the goods of T's. Here here party T is delivering some goods to the M's house instead of delivering to the another house. Here the delivering of the goods is the mistake, but M he don't know and he is not willingly done. He has used that goods without by ordering. Here the mistake is also occur to the M's fault also. If the goods are not belongs to the M's, he want to return those goods, and T is delivered to the wrong address goods. So the mistake is having on both sides, T sides and M side. That is called quasi contract. Coming to the classifications of basis of performance: executed contract and executory contract. Executed contract means here for a contract, one contract is there. There are two different parties. Agreement is there. Here party is willingness, party B is willingness, and the contract is the agreement is applicable by the law. So it is converts into the contract. Here both party A is completed their duty and party B also completed their duty. Both sides of the contract, both parties of the contracts completed their duty. That is called executory contract. Here means the contract is completely executed, means completely performed. That is called executory contract. Coming to the executed contract. An executed contract in which the both parties are yet to perform their duties, either party A or party B. Here there is a contract. When the party A want to perform the duty and the party B has completed their duty, it is called unilateral contract. Means a contract is there between two parties. One party is completed their duty and now the second party want to complete their duty. Here means one side of the contract one party of the contract completed their duty. It is called unilateral contract. When the both parties of the contract want to complete their duty, that is called bilateral contract. When the both parties of the contract want to complete their duties, that is called bilateral contract. See once again, express contract means here one of the party want to express his opinions, say yes or no. That is called express contract. Coming to the implied contract means here there is no written document or any words by orally, but it is depend upon their behavior. That is called implied contract. Coming to the quasi contract means the goods is delivered to the wrong address. And executed contract means both parties of a contract completed their duties. That is called executed contract. Executed contract means one party of the contract want to complete their duty, or two parties of the contract want to complete their duty. That is called executed contract. Essential of a valid contract. So we are having some different elements of the valid contract. When these elements are satisfied completely by the law, then only the contract will become a valid contract. That is called offer and acceptance, legal relationship, law consideration, capacity, competence of parties, free consent, lawful object and agreements not declared void, certainty and possibility of performance and legal formalities. There should be a offer should be given by one of the party of the contract and should be accepted by one of the party of the contract. There should be a proper legal relationship. The law should be supported. That is called lawful consideration. And there should not be any minor person in the contract. That is called capacity and competency of the parties. and there should be free consent and lawful object, and the agreements not declared void. Certainty and possibility of performance also applicable, and there should be a legality formalities also, that is called essential of a valid contract. Thank you my dear students. Please subscribe my YouTube channel.